Thank you. Probably wonder why Senior Village is up here talking, and we tend to be the organization that sees what kind of goes on inside of houses, as opposed to the HOAs, which take care of the outside of it, which we've just heard about. So what I'd like to talk about today is a little bit about what we've done and where we're going and what we've done over the past year. Our mission statement, as I've shown over here, essentially says that we're here to provide simple, non-medical services to residents of SaddleBrooke. And we've just modified our mission statement this past year based on the 3.5 years that we've been doing things here at SaddleBrooke and seeing what effect we were having, and we felt like we needed to modify our mission statement, so we changed it to add and to serve as a resource when they decide to transition from our community. So one of the things that we're doing then is to help as much as we can while they're here, but if we feel like there needs to be a movement away from the community, we want to work with them to help them, because one of the things as you grow older that you fear is leaving or going someplace different. And so we've got a team of people that we're putting together that's going to help to do that. So the first part of it is to provide simple non-medical services. So we essentially have been providing 5 things over the last 3.5 years. We call it Going My Way, Helping Hands, Friendly Contact, Fun with Friends, and then we also do lock boxes, and we install lock boxes for the whole community, not just for members of Senior Village. So on the Going My Way, that's taking people to doctor's appointments, to the grocery store, to errands, down to Walmart, to places like that. And last year we did 500 requests of taking people places. We drove 17,000 miles, our volunteers did, and we put in 1,200 hours of time, of volunteer time, taking people places. Our Helping Hands, that's the one where we go out and we change filters, we put in light bulbs, we do GFI resets, we help people with their Apple phones or with their Android phones or with their computers if they have a problem, and we did 437 requests there. Friendly Contact is a team of people that will go do one-on-one with a member. If a member would like somebody to come and play cards with them, we have volunteers that will go over and spend time with them. And last year we did about 60 one-on-one interactions with people. But the big thing that the Friendly Contact team does is we send out birthday cards to all of our members. And so we sent out over 500 birthday cards last year to members. And this is very gratifying. We've had members come back and say, you know, that's the first birthday card I've had in years. So it's really nice, and all of the cards are provided by the paper crafters here. So they're all free, and all we do is write little notes in them. We've got a team of people that writes notes in them and then mail them out each month for them. Our Fun with Friends, that's where one of the problems that people have, particularly even in our community, is that as they get older and a partner dies, they don't feel like they want to go out. What we're trying to do is get them out of the home, get them out and doing things. And so we have various activities, monthly activities. So once a month we have a bocce group that meets. Once a month we have a putters group. Every month we do a birthday lunch where we bring people down. And we just started actually providing a birthday cake at the birthday lunch, and people love the birthday cake. I'll tell you, none of it goes home. I mean, every bit of that's eaten. You know, us old people like sweets, and so put a birthday cake down there. But the other thing is that the quilters came to us and said, you know, we'd like to do something to work with Senior Village to do something for your members. So every month the quilters provide us a quilt that we now raffle off at the birthday lunch. And not to be outdone, the nitwits came to us and said, you know, we like to knit. We'd like to work with Senior Village to distribute some of our things. So now we've got 2 things that are going on at the birthday lunch. We have a quilt that we give out or something made by the quilters, and we have things that have been made by the nitwits to give that out. So, you know, Senior Village over the 3 years, we're finally, you know, we're becoming part of the community in terms of community help, and I'll show on a slide in just a minute about that. And then, and the last one is lockbox. We put in 88 lockboxes last year. We install them. The people buy them, we install them. And at the bottom of the slide, I show what our 3-year thing has been. We've driven over 70,000 miles in 3 years doing things for people. We put in 16,000 volunteer hours in three years, and about 3,700 services we've provided. And I don't know if you think about it, 70,000 miles, that's about 3 times around the circumference of the earth. And so our volunteers have driven that far in 3 years, which I think is really good for them. The second part of the thing that I have was to serve as a resource when they decide to transition from our community. The reason that this came about is we had a resident in SaddleBrooke who wrote articles for Saddlebag Notes on his decision to make the move. And he put these things together into a booklet which was called When It's Time to Make the Move. His name was Gene Honoroff. Unfortunately, he passed away about a year ago. But he finally decided to make the move, but he talked about what brought him to that choice. And so as we have been taking people places and our volunteers see what goes on inside of the homes, it became obvious to us that we needed to do something. So the first thing that we did is we put together a support team. And that support team is a team of retired doctors, retired nurses, retired case managers. And when a volunteer sees that something is going on inside of the home that doesn't look quite right, we will send a couple of our support team members over to work with them. Well, the follow-on to that was essentially this: what happens when we see that we can't provide the non-medical services that those people need? What can we do? And so part of that is going to be to help them to move. And so the board has put together a brochure that will go out in our newsletters that are being folded and stuffed today, and will go in the mail tomorrow. But it's a brochure called Moving On to the New Chapter. And it's our way of trying to get to these people that we feel it's time for them to move on from the community, that Senior Village can't really help them anymore in terms of non-medical things. Okay, so Senior Village has grown from to a multi-network. When I took over the board position a year ago, we were really a working board. And we were still the people who had put Senior Village together, and we were a working board. One of the things that I've tried to do is to ensure that Senior Village will be here for the long term, and I've moved the board into a governing board. And of course that leaves us with the necessity to have somebody who's doing the organizational side of Senior Village and watching the organizational side, working with the volunteers and dealing with the members. And so we have actually now hired a part-time executive director to support us with that, Diane Ewing, and Diane is here today if you want to stand up, Diane. She's going to be working with us to ensure that the long-term viability of Senior Village is here and will continue to go, and this gives the board the ability to look at new things and new ways of doing things. We currently have 166 volunteers, 620 members that we're providing services for. We've got 8 teams and some team leaders. And I just wanted to give some support to our community because our community has backed us. The SaddleBrooke Lady Niners, the Men's Putters, the Paper Crafters, the Quilters, the Friday Nitwits, the Health Fair, the Sunrise Rotary, of course HOA 1 has opened their arms to us, and 235 SaddleBrooke residents who have been donors over the last year. Thank you.